there are seats around, so there's really no need to stand. You can fill up some more seats over here. All right. Welcome to the 2012 Philipese Manor Improvement Association and Sleepy Hollow Manor Association Candidates Night for the election of trustees to the Village of Sleepy Hollow. My name is Richard Flannel. I'm the president of the PMIA. I will be your moderator this evening. Mr. James West is the president of the Sleepy Hollow Manor Association. He'll be doing the timing, and together we will adjudicate whether or not people are out of bounds in terms of their questions. A couple of things I would like to mention. The event tonight is being recorded tonight by Sunny McLean, representing Community Media on Hudson. She has asked that people, when they speak, they come up to the podium. It makes it easier that way. You have more presence as far as the camera is concerned, okay? And that's better. Neither party has contributed to the expense of that. So if anybody would like to contribute to community media, please do so. It will be shown on Monday evening. I don't know the time, but Sunny said she'll give it to me. We'll post it on the Sleepy Hollow web and the Philipese Manor web. And it's also being filmed for our website, PMIA website, by David Hudson. So his equipment is not quite as accurate, I guess, maybe. But hopefully it'll come out. All right. I would like to point out a couple of things. This year we're going to run Candidate Night with a few minor changes. Those changes have basically to do with timing. As before, the candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves, 2 minutes each. The order will be first the Independents, then the Democrats. It was decided by coin toss earlier in the evening. At the end, they will have 1 minute for closing remarks, 1 minute each in the same order. You better start formulating your questions now, because you've all seen Jeopardy. You know what a question is. Ask a question. Don't give a speech. And you will be limited for your questions to 30 seconds. Once the question is asked of a candidate or a party, that party or candidate will have 2 minutes to respond, and then the other party will have 2 minutes to respond. Now this is new and different. The person who asks that first question will have a 30-second follow-up opportunity. If they find that the candidate didn't really answer the question, they danced around it or whatever, you get a follow-up question. That same question. It's a 30-second follow-up question, and then the sides have, in the same order, 1 minute to respond.
And then the box.
That's it. No, I didn't bring the gloves. I'm sorry. No, we can't do that. It's not legal in jurisdiction. After about 1 hour, because the two organizations, PMIA and SHMA, are sponsoring this event, paying for the space, bought the food, organized the event, they get first swipe at the candidates for about an hour. So when there are no more first questions, or at the elapse of the first hour, then I will open it up to other residents of Sleepy Hollow, the village of Sleepy Hollow. No questions will be allowed from people who are not residents of the village of Sleepy Hollow. This is a village event. Okay. So, any questions? Anybody have any questions about how this is going? I think.
Turn off your cell phones.
Okay. So timers are ready?
Turn off cell phones.
Cell phones off. Yeah, cell phones. I might be here. Okay. Yeah, just turn off cell phones, pagers, or any other kinds of things. 30 seconds. Any questions about how this is going to be running? Okay.
What are you going to alert us? 15. I think it's 30.
All right. I will entertain the first question from a neighbor, and that neighbor needs to stand up with their name and address.
They got to introduce.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You're first, in whichever order you want.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. coming. I want to thank both Manor associations for having us this evening. My name is Dan Scott. I'm running for village trustee. Just a little bit of background. I moved to Sleepy Hollow in '06. I grew up actually in Yonkers. I lived in Westchester my whole life. I attended the public schools there. From there, I went graduated valedictorian in my class at Manhattan College. Went on to St. John's, where I was on law review. I was recruited to a large international law firm, Sullivan & Cromwell. And from there, I now am an attorney at Chadwell & Park. Last year, some of you may remember me, I ran for mayor last year. It was my introduction to running, I guess, for public office. And pulled out an impressive, I think, close to 40% of the vote. And since I have stayed very active in the community, speaking on behalf of the residents. I have been running a blog over the last year to speak publicly about issues. I have attended many meetings, as well as, obviously viewed the ones where I didn't feel necessary to attend and speak at. I have submitted comments, both orally and written, to the board, and made suggestions on a variety of issues. Gone through the budget line by line, asked the tough questions. In short, I have been there over the last year for everybody in this room, representing you and trying to get answers from the board on a variety of issues. When the after-school program was cut out of budget without anyone's notice, I was there speaking on behalf of getting that reinstated. I have volunteered in village cleanups. I have tried to volunteer on every committee that exists, actually, in government. So I've been making my efforts to stay involved and be part of the government. And I hope to continue to do that as part of the board for you, to continue to be a voice for you. Thank you.
It doesn't matter. Whatever word you want.
Is there a microphone?
No,
it's
going
again.
to talk about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is David Bedell. I'm a resident of Wompa Park. And please bear with me. I've been sick for a week and my voice is going to come and go. I've lived in Sleepy Hollow for 10 years. My wife and I moved up from the city, and because we absolutely love the natural setting here. We love the Hudson River, the Rockefeller Preserve. And since coming here, we've had 2 children, both born at Phelps, a son and a daughter. And this is really the place where I've put down roots and where I've come to enjoy the rewards and the responsibility of being a parent and being a citizen. And that's led to my interest and involvement in our community and in government. And I do have a strong interest in the environment. Mayor Ray appointed me to be chair of the Village Environmental Council 2 years ago. Thank you. And since then, I have made, I've worked with the mayor, trustees, department heads, PMIA, Sleepy Hollow Manor Association, many different groups on parks, riverfront development, Morse Park, garbage, and many other issues. And I'm very happy to be here tonight to answer your questions and tell you more about how I contributed to important issues in the past and how I would do so as a trustee. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, and thanks for coming out. My name is Sean Roach. Let's see, some background. Most of you know me as the former editor of the Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow Patch, but I promise I'm not a one-trick pony here. I covered local government here for about 2 years, and municipal government as a journalist for about 5 years. I've also been a journalist in Egypt, France, and the UK. That's where I got my degree in journalism from the University of Liverpool. So I've been living here in Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow for about 3 years, and I think I've been very active in that time. I'm a member of the Sleepy Hollow Environmental Advisory Council, along with David. And actually, I think yesterday I was voted to the board of the Tarrytown Ambulance Corps, which is great. I volunteer as an EMT in Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow. I'm also an Eagle Scout. I always say this, I'm an avid blood donor, and I encourage all of you to donate blood and platelets because they're always in demand in New York. I'm running because I really love living here, and I think the issues directly affect me. I really want to buy a house. I have enough money to do it, but I can't afford the taxes yet. So I know what bothers people here, and it bothers me too. I'm the only person running here who lives in the inner village, and downtown revitalization is something that's very important to me. I think I've started tackling that, organizing village-wide cleanups. I also have a lot of ideas for taking it to the next level. To do that, I'd like to get more people involved in the government, and that's why I'm running, to make this village a better place, and to really bring everybody together and move it forward. So thank you very much for your time, and looking forward to the debate.
Good evening. I'd like to thank both Manor associations for hosting this event, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming. My name is Lobato-Church. I live in Weber Park with my husband and my 2 daughters. I grew up in Weber Park, and I left for a short time to attend school. I went to Rutgers University and then Brooklyn Law School. From there, I stayed in Brooklyn for a while and worked at the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, where I was a prosecutor. Spent half my time prosecuting crimes against children. After the DA's office, I moved on to the New York Stock Exchange, where I pursued and completed an MBA while working. And I am now acting as in-house regulatory advisory counsel for the Royal Bank of Scotland in Stamford, Connecticut. I currently serve the village as the chair of the Police Advisory Committee, and I sit on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I'm active in our neighborhood Weber Park Association, working on issues such as speeding throughout Weber Park. I spearheaded an initiative that led to the reduction of the speed limit on New Broadway and the erection of this Weber Park sign that you see at the entrance to Weber Park. There are significant projects ahead facing the village, and I'm running because I feel that I have the passion and the skills and the experience to help the village successfully navigate through those projects. I have village experience in zoning law, zoning code, law enforcement, through my involvement in police advisory and the Zoning Board of Appeals. And I also have relevant life skills and experiences that can help the village. I know how to risk assess, I know how to build policies and procedures, how to implement controls. I know how to work across disciplines, and I'm trained to do all this not through school, but also through my everyday experiences at work, with my neighbors, through the community, and through the village. I'm running with Trustee Wompa because I really believe in the work that she's done in the past 4 years, and I want to help her continue that work. And I'm running with Susan MacFarlane because she's really passionate and very smart and believes in what she does. And I'm hoping that I can serve you as village trustee and work with you for the next 2 years. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming. This is a great turnout. I'd like to tell you, my name is Susan MacFarlane. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I've been living in the village of Sleepy Hollow for 6 years now. I live down at Ichabod's Landing, the development between the GM site and the Castle Loyal sites. I'm originally from the Chicago area. I moved to the Westchester County area in 2000. I've got an economics degree from Purdue University and a law degree from the University of Illinois. And for the last 15 years, I've been a practicing attorney. Currently, I do securities litigation at Morgan Stanley and Purchase. And in addition to being a practicing attorney there, I am also the operations officer for my 125-person department. I rose naturally to that role, and much of what I do in that role, I think will be helpful experience for the job of village trustee. For instance, I'm responsible for setting our budget for our department, which I have to say rivals Sleepy Hollow's in size. And I make sure we adhere to it through the course of the year. I'm responsible for evaluating our resources and staffing, working with our IT department. I negotiate all of our vendor contracts, all the main ones, outside counsel and experts, through RFPs and through direct negotiations. In short, I think I have the right business experience for this job. You should know I did not decide on my own to seek public office. I was recruited by the current trustees. I came to their attention because of the work I've done for the parks in the area. The park I lived next to was deteriorating and needed attention, and so for the last several years I've organized community cleanup. And last year, Trustee Carr mentored me, and I formed with another person in my community, the Friends of Moran's Landing at Sleepy Hollow Riverwalk Park, which sponsored Sleepy Hollow's first movie in the Parks night. So you don't have to take my word for it that I care about the village. I think my track record should show you that not only do I care, but I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and work for it.
15.
Some of my goals are to see the GM and Castle Oil sites redeveloped in a sound and beneficial manner, and to improve the inner village, especially municipal parking. We're fortunate to have a good team of intelligent, hardworking trustees and the mayor in office, and I'd be honored to join them if you elect me. Thank you.
Hi, most of you already know me. I'm Karin Wompa. I'm a resident of Sleepy Hollow for 17 years with my husband and my 2 8-year-old children. I'd like to first of all thank you all for coming tonight. This is a wonderful turnout. I've been a trustee for 4 years, and if elected, this will be my 3rd term. I originally decided to run 4 years ago with David Trudell and Tom Capicella because of the State of the Union. The yearly tax increases of over 8% without any real benefit seen to the village. GM negotiations had fallen apart, the inner village and Beekman Avenue were deteriorating. Village staff issues, including an FBI investigation, employee lawsuits, and overall mismanagement. Once elected, we began to tackle these issues. And with the current board in place, we really began to change the course of the village and the character of our village government. We successfully completed the GM negotiations. We addressed staffing issues and made appropriate changes, including a new police chief, addressed concerns of our residents, speeding and traffic issues, the lost truck in Weber Park issue, a new senior center, creating environmental and police advisory committees, took care of the Halloween problem in the Manor and concerns, and a new stair to the station, to name a few. Addressing concerns of the inner village, completing improvements along Beekman Avenue, renovating Morris Park, updating and enforcing our village and building codes. I'm running again to keep this change moving forward. And I truly believe that we are very fortunate to have Susan MacFarlane and Jennifer Lobato-Church join us. They are currently active on village committees, and they have the character, the experience, commitment, and the ability to move this village forward to its next chapter. Thank you.
So now I will entertain the first question from a resident of Roach Manor or Sleepy Hollow. Somebody like to raise their hand, stand up, introduce themselves, and ask a question? Yes.
I'm Nick Robinson from Philipese Manor. The most important question this village faces is going to be the cleanup of the General Motors plant, for which there's a hearing March 22nd, Thursday, at the Senior Center. And I'd like to know what each of you is going to say about that cleanup. The DEC's had the plan on the website now for about 4 weeks. You've had a chance to study it. The lead contamination on this site, if it's exposed to the wind off the Hudson, is going to contaminate every good part of our village. And the removal of the hazardous waste is a question.
Okay, let me remind the parties that that was addressed sort of generally. Each side has 2 minutes to respond. They're going to have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes as a side. So since that was, does anybody want to go first? You want to go first? Oh, you want to go? Okay.
David wants to go first.
Well, let's not waste time. Let's go.
No, thank you, Nick. The cleanup of the GM site is incredibly important. And it affects both the future, the health and safety of the future residents and future village workers working on the land, as well as all of us. And on the 22nd, I would hope that everyone would come out and express how important it is that as the cap is removed, as the concrete is removed, that the proper controls are put in place such that we do not get any migration of pollution out of the site. And we have to be very firm that it is more important that we are protected as residents than a timetable for the developer. And at the same time, we need to concentrate on what happens in the ground. We need, as things stand, the cleanup will be inadequate because around utility lines that are buried, there will not be enough clean fill such that everyday DPW activities, such as fixing water mains, fixing sewer lines, to ensure that they will not come in contact with contaminated soil. This is important, again, for their health and safety as well, and also for our finances, so that our operations going forward can be standard village operations and won't need to become toxic cleanup sites. That's just a brief overview. I hope everyone will read the documents and come out on the 22nd.
Well, can we share the response, or how does this work?
Yeah, you can share the response.
Okay, well, I'll say a little bit. Basically, what happens is when a site plan...
Don't count this against their time. All right.
Basically, what happens in New York State is when a site plan is presented to the DEC, they determine what type of remediation is required. So, for example, and I believe we've discussed this before in the same forum, if we were to put private houses on the GM site, the remediation, the requirement would be a much higher level of cleanup than the apartment buildings that they're going to be putting, because private owners will not have access to dig and put trees into the ground. In 2007, in 2002, the village agreed to adopt the DEC's determination for the remediation on the site. On March 22nd, the DEC will go over all of the remediation that has done so far, and a large percentage of it has been completed. The only remediation that is basically left to be completed is of the river, where they will be dredging about